Greg's coming to you live tonight with announcements. The Chinese have rammed a ship that has the chief of staff of the Philippine Armed Forces on board. They attacked it with a water cannon and then they rammed it. And apparently they've been ramming other Filipino boats. These are acts of war practically. This is over the top, and this could provoke a war between the Philippines and China, and the United States has a treaty with the Philippines to protect the Philippines. So, unlike Taiwan, we have a full-blown treaty with the Philippines, and it dates back to the 50s. This could be these events could lead to World War III. These are the kind of things that could escalate. Not only that, but now there's also a ship. I'm going to go back into that in a little bit, but just to kind of give you a quick summary of the headlines, there's also a ship in the Red Sea that's on fire right now because of the Houthi attack. It's a commercial ship, apparently a Norwegian ship called the M/T. I don't know how you say it, MT, M/T, Strenda, something like that. It's on fire. And the USS destroyer, the Arleigh Burke class destroyer, the U.S. Mason, which has also had some activity shooting down some Houthi drones, missiles, and such, has been dispatched to this this ship to see what's going on because they put out a distress call. I hear nobody was hurt or injured. At least that's what they're telling us so far. And on top of that, the French had two Houthi drums coming after them, and they shot them down. I guess the Houthis are firing at everybody that goes through. So I guess Nate was right. They're not just firing at Israelis or anything connected. If you're going through the strait, they're going to fire at you. They're going to fire at everybody. So in a way, Nate was right of Canadian Prepper when he said they're the honey badgers of this whole movement, because they'll just fight anything and everybody. They don't care. And they're being armed with the top rate missiles. I mean, when you look at the missiles that fire through space from the tip of Yemen going up toward Israel, which were intercepted by some of these by Israeli missiles, which became the first space battle in history. A rebel group that doesn't even control the country they're in launches a space war, the first ever space war. Who would have thunk it? Who would have believed that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago? Well, they didn't do it by themselves. They were backed by who? Iran. So anyway, guys, so this is the kind of stuff that's going on. It's over the top. So I'm going to kind of go through this news aspect, and then we'll look at the chat. I'm going to try to be quick tonight. I need to get up early tomorrow, and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. Just kind of a little update. So I got a speck of something on my cap there. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. No. Anyway, guys. So let's get into it. This Filipino Coast Guard ship was harassed by a Chinese Coast Guard vehicle, and it just so happens it was carrying the Philippine Chief of Staff of their armed forces, Romero Bronner, who is American educated. He went to school here in the United States. So this is like, the chairman of our Joint Chiefs of Staff here in the United States, the top military person in the Philippines, was on this ship that got attacked. So this is very significant. In any event, they were on their way to supply, Christmas gifts, basically, to the Filipino Marines that are in that ship called the Sierra Madre, which is grounded on the Second Thomas Shoal. It is still an active commissioned ship in the Philippine military, although it's got holes and it's rusting and it's listing, and if it weren't grounded on the shoal, it would probably sink. It's an old World War II vessel. But this is how the Philippines are trying to hold on to their territory in the ocean, which is well within their economic exclusion zone as established by the Law of the Sea Treaty, which was signed by China, which China ignores. China will ignore any treaty they want to. If you sign anything with China and think you've accomplished something, you are a fool. But we got a lot of fools and they're going, oh, well, look, we got an agreement with China. We signed something. Well, how did that work out for Hong Kong? Huh? Yeah, and how's that worked out in just numerous other cases? China does whatever the heck they want to do, and to heck with anybody else. They'll get you to sign treaties, so you will do what they want you to do. That's how it works. They will only do things if it suits them, and only that. So if you, and that's the way communist countries are. You sign a treaty with a communist country, you're idiots. Except if you've got some real way to verify. Some of the arms treaties we had with Russia way back when, we had, Reagan's philosophy was the trust but verify. Trust was not a real aspect of it. It was mainly verify. So this is what you got to do. It's got to be in both the interest of both sides for it to be a treaty that might kind of sort of work. But a communist nation is not a nation to be trusted because they believe that their goal is worth any means to achieve it. And that's what they taught in their philosophy. And that's a philosophy that encourages lying, cheating. So do you want to sign a treaty with a cheating liar? All right, that's what happens, guys. So anyway. Yeah, enough of that. So I'm going to check the chat room here in a little bit, guys. But for the benefit of those that watch later, I'm going to go through the news first. So, again, what happened? The Philippines ship was hit by water cannons and acoustic devices. And apparently, several of their ships lately have been damaged by these water cannons. These water cannons they hit with such force. Water is 8 pounds per gallon, and this is shot at high velocity. This has actually damaged several ships. It's damaged engines. So this is an attack. It's not something that sinks the ships or yet, but it is an attack. It can do severe damage to a person if you get hit with this water. They have loud acoustics, which could damage your hearing. They're playing. They shine lasers at people that could cause permanent eyesight damage. So the Chinese are not playing nice, and they're playing nice on territory that's not theirs. And they're claiming it's theirs, and they're claiming other people violate their sovereignty, which is a bunch of, okay. So why don't let's say I got a little country and I want to go right in the middle of Canada, say Saskatchewan, and say, well, this is mine. And if you come inside this, you're violating my sovereignty. Just pick anywhere, any place on earth, and, some island, some piece of the ocean, some major trade routes. Okay. I got a little country. This is my area. And if you come inside, you violate my sovereignty, and I got the right to do anything I want to do to you. Yes, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. They just claim whatever they want to claim and do whatever they want to do. They're lawless. China's lawless. Lawless liars. I got nothing but the people of China. It's not a good people in China. I'm talking about the Chinese Communist Party. Okay. I got to be careful on this platform to make sure I define very succinct what I'm talking about, or I'll get knocked out of here. My video before last got demonetized, and this one will probably be too. So any help you guys can chip in will be helpful. But anyway, all that said, this platform is knocking me down on my channel here. They're knocking me down. I have lost a lot of subscribers lately. I'm getting less views. And then they're demonetizing videos. So, and what am I saying? I'm not saying anything untoward. Not really. I'm bringing to the truth. But you can't have that. So, but anyway, guys. So just bear in mind here, this is an affront. This is an affront to freedom. It's an affront to our ally, the Philippines. The Philippines, Filipino people are nice people. It's a great country. A lot of the call centers, a lot of people answer your phones when you call into the call centers are in the Philippines. They speak good English there. They're friendly people. They're nice people, and they don't deserve to be bullied and pushed around. The Philippines, at one time, was a U.S. territory after the Spanish-American War, which the Americans fought Spain and won. The United States got Cuba and the Philippines. Now we turned both of these. We made them both independent countries, and Cuba turned against us, as we see. The Philippines one time run us out, but now because of the dealing with China, they brought us back in. For those who say the United States conquers everything and holds on to it, you're full of bunk. And there's some big level YouTube channels that just everything the United States has done, we're conquering it, we own it, they're under occupation. The Philippines told us to leave, and we did. Uh, so, there's just a lot of opinions out there, and some of them don't really add up. And I could go into that later, but that's another topic for another time. All right, so let's go back into this. What's happening here is that the in rock. Oh, John. Yeah, well, there's that too. Anyway, got Colonel Cole in the house. Yeah, he's our military man. He's in our chat room on a regular basis. But anyway, so appreciate Colonel Cole. So, guys, the situation though is that the United States has responded to this. And this is reported in The Hill. And the U.S. slammed China for their reckless discard and provocative action. So the State Department's Matthew Miller made some statements on this. He said that China interfered with the lawful Philippine maritime operations and in Philippine vessels exercised the high sea freedom of navigation, which has been internationally recognized for a long time, obstructing supply lines to its long-standing outpost and interfering with lawful Philippines maritime operations undermines regional stability. These actions reflect not only reckless disregard for the safety and livelihoods of the Filipinos, but also for international law. Now, the Philippines sued China for going in and taking shoals and islands that should have been theirs and building bases on them. China says, we're not going to militarize these. Oh, yeah, they promised it. We're not going to militarize us. Of course they did. But again, if you believe everything China says, what do I tell you again? They're liars. At least the Chinese Communist Party. I'll tell you one thing. Oh, don't worry. We're not going to do this, but that's exactly what, figure the worst, and that's where they're at, guys. As your friend, then you're the rabbit that likes to be fed by the wolf until you get fed to the wolf. I mean, yeah. What's the Chinese thing? Wolf warriors. Yeah, think about it, guys. That was their whole diplomacy style, wolf warrior. Yeah, think about it. What does that mean? Yeah, it should say alike. Of course, they follow Sun Tzu, and so they want to take us over by us giving up to them, basically, and which we're doing a good job of, and we've let all their sleeper cells in this country in droves, and how can that be? I mean, even Christopher Wray's admitted it, but the party of Biden fights any attempt to stop this, even when the point where the Republicans tried to come up with and said, hey, if you want money for Ukraine or Israel, then you're going to have to defend our country's borders. You know what? And then they got into a fighting match in the Senate over that. That shouldn't have been. Because that should be job one of our government. Our government's illegitimate. If you can't defend our border, why are you taking my tax money? Why are you drawing a salary? Go home. Turn over your salary and go home. Quit. Stop. You don't deserve a penny you're getting, especially out of my pocket. But anyway, but then they're forcing us into, we're being coerced to give it up. Guys, all these governments play us against each other. If you think the government's our friend, our government's no more our friend either. Governments are not the friends of the people anywhere in the world. They all play us against each other. And a lot of organizations do the same thing. That's what happens. So, a lot of people say, well, look at what America's done, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's what I tell you guys. Ain't no government your friend. No government. And if you think they are, then you are not in a situation to see what they're doing, what things are coming. And especially don't like those of us who live in countries that are free, countries that don't want to eat Klaus Schwab's cricket burgers or give up to this whole notion, oh, I said his name, yikes, or give up this whole notion of you will own nothing and you will be happy. You will own nothing. You will have no privacy, but you'll be happy. Well, those that they'll allow to be left, maybe. Who else? Guys, if you will be happy with that, put 1 in the chat room. If you're not going to be happy with that kind of stuff, put a 2 in the chat room. I don't think most of my subscribers and followers in here exactly are a big fan of going in that direction. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know. So, anyway, guys, there we go. I see the 2s first off. We got it, guys. Yeah. Hey, I know. And that's the way Americans are. We don't want to be giving up everything. Hey, Joan. All right, Scooby Snacks. A YouTuber just came back from a trip to China and said it feels empty as in population. What? That's weird. What do you mean by that? Something happened in China we don't know about when they got bugs going around there. Maybe everybody's hiding. Holy smoke, guys. Hey, New Days. Rodney. And Zen Jammin'. Good to see you, Zen Jammin'. Is Aisley in the house? All right. So, anyway, guys. So, this commercial vessel that got attacked by the Houthis was a Norwegian vessel, apparently. Belonged to Norway. And it was the MT Strata. It's on fire. Like I said earlier, the USS Mason, another Arleigh-class destroyer like the Carney, which is also seeing a lot of action there in the Red Sea. And so it's a Mason that's seen some action too. Has went in to help out with that situation, but after it was hit. So but everything fired at our destroyers has been taken down. Their missiles to defend against the other missiles have been working and scoring. The missiles that Iran fired against the missiles, that Israel fired against the missiles fired from Houthi that intercepted in space worked too. Oh yeah, and the U.S. just tested a new mid-course ground-based interceptor. And it was a successful test. So this notion that some folks have that missile defense don't work, it's not perfect. Stuff can get through, and it lasts only as long as you got missiles to defend. For example, we've got a very limited number of missiles in our ground-based missile defense system at Fort Greely, Alaska, my old duty station. Very limited number. But those are good missiles. They'll have a few misses, and the misses can be catastrophic. But now this test that they just did was a test of firing a missile to use only do a 2-stage burn on 3-stage missile to do a much nearer intercept. So if you miss the first time, you got a second chance. That really increases your odds. But we don't have enough of these missiles. Michelle Young, I'm not happy with the way things are going, but I'm extremely happy to be in your chat. Well, Michelle Young, thank you so much. Yes, you are amongst friends here. We are family, for those that don't know. Thank you for the super chat, Michelle. Amen. What the heck is making a wrecking around here? But anyway, so these are the things that we've got to be aware of. And I'm going to talk to you about something else. We've been warned what's coming to us from the highest levels. That's really a subject for a whole video. I don't know. I might have to do another video just title this. We've been warned. And like I said, if you think the government's your friend, well, you got another thing coming. And you know what? We got another thing coming anyway, apparently. But anyway, I'll get into that in a little bit. So this whole thing, Red Sea, is a mess. Like I said, missile defense can work, though. To a degree, to a point. And our destroyers and aircraft carrier strike forces, their missiles will work as long as they got them. But China's got a lot more, apparently, so you can be oversaturated. If you want to have really good missile defense, you need a lot of missiles. That's what it boils down to. So that is what you're dealing with. Anyway, guys, so let's just kind of go on here. So, if you don't think you need to be prepping right now, what do you think? Oh, yeah. We're coming into Christmas season. Money's getting tight. So if you go to prepwithgreg.com, there's a new special that might help folks kind of deal with being able to prep in a time where the money is tighter. So what they've done is they've created a special with a 4-week instead of a 2-week supply, which is very little, or the 3-month supply, which is a lot. They've My Patriot Supply has created a new special. We can get a 4-week for $60 off. 4-week supply of food lasts 25 years. So 4 weeks, that's a whole month. Whole month's worth. 2,000 calories a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for just $177. So, guys, it lasts 25 years. It comes in those rugged, watertight buckets and seal pouches. Throw that stuff in a cache somewhere. Put some in your van or your truck or car and a trunk. Have it ready to go. It's light enough your kids can carry these things. So it's a great deal. Consider it. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, again, go to prepwithgreg.com. That's where you're going to get the deal. And you can go to prepwithgreg.com and find lots of other survival prepping things in there, including things that might make great Christmas gifts. I mean, what better thing can you do for Christmas than give somebody the opportunity to survive? Or you can give them a scarf, which might be an opportunity to survive up here in the cold desert at night, but that's another story. There's quite a story about how I come up with a scarf. I don't know if I want to tell it, but I got a makeshift scarf. Anyway, one has to improvise at times. I'm okay. That's nothing. All right, guys. So, yeah, but the Houthis are shooting everybody. They've even tried to take on a French destroyer. Why are they going after a French destroyer? Well, the Israelis were happy that the French were defending themselves, and needless to say. So, now here's the other news. Israelis did a major airstrike on this Lebanese border town called Aitron. Atron, I don't know how you pronounce that. But Hezbollah claimed, well, this is a major escalation. The Israelis were hitting, forces that hit them. But Hezbollah said this is a major escalation, and we're going to have to escalate because of this. You see what's happening? The tit for tat, the feud aspect that I tell you guys about, how feuds evolve and get worse. That's where we're at here. So it's escalating with Hezbollah. Hezbollah's looking to get more involved, to ratchet it up, which is no surprise to anyone. So yeah, there is huge risk that all this can blow out a portion. This can go crazy in the Mideast. So we're not done with where this could head. The Houthis are involved, firing from Yemen. Lebanon's involved, whether they want to be or not. We've got, but this is all part and parcel of a bigger picture of a conflict with Russia, with Iran, mainly China coming up. That's what you got to worry about. What's China going to do? Where's China taking this stuff? So, I think it just come up. Hey, Martin. All right. So, but Russia had been saving up their missiles, their bombs, and going light on strikes, claiming they were going to hit in the wintertime. Well, guess what? It's practically winter, and Russia's just launched a huge missile barrage on Ukraine, and bombs, missiles, and so they're letting it all go for the winter. I guess they figure if they bomb in the winter, it'll be more effective. Suddenly people will be without cover in cold weather, and it's going to be harder on them. So that's war, guys. War is war. There's nothing pretty about it. But Russia's been struggling to take Avdiivka, however it's pronounced. They've been struggling. They're throwing tons of manpower at it. They've thrown tanks at it, infantry, and now they're going to drones. But this is where Russia is just proving that they're willing to throw manpower like crazy at a situation and run their young guys through the meat grinder to obtain a goal. And that's rough. But, if Russia continues that, and if they keep up the will to fight that they got over the long term in a war of attrition, they're going to win. Because how else can, in a war of attrition, the one that's got the most people, the most money, the most manufacturing is the winner. And most wars are wars of attrition. Unless there's something brilliant tactical strategic thing that happens. But the counteroffensive that Ukraine mounted, the spring offensive, petered out. And now they're talking about an offensive in 2025. I don't think Ukraine's got to 2025. Maybe they do. Maybe. But it don't look good for them. I'm going to tell you that. So other people think otherwise, but I've been saying that for a long time. Now, here's the interesting thing. The Pentagon has now come up with EMP weapons for fighting drone swarms. So they're going to fry the drone swarms all at once with an EMP type weapon, a tactical, low yield, battlefield type EMP. So this will be the first. Well, we've had a cruise missile had an EMP type weapon on board. We've not had. These are all tactical EMPs. We've not had a strategic EMP weapon in the United States inventory. So just keep that in mind. And by the way, China has just dumped a ton of U.S. dollars. They're dumping dollars in the currency market. They're trying to prop up their yuan. And India's done the same thing. They're trying to prop up their rupee. So they're both dumping dollars. That's not going to help the U.S. dollar in the long term. The U.S. dollar's gained a little strength recently on the backs of some employment news that came out. But don't count on that remaining. Don't count on this trend continuing. Just gave a little reprieve against the big rapid rise of gold. Right now might be a good time to buy gold when it's in a temporary little bit of a dip there. It's still over $2,000 an ounce. So it'd be another reason to go check out defythegrid.com, where they sell gold coins, bars, silver, platinum, and goldbacks, which I have quite an affinity for. So you can get to use the discount code GreenGregs and get 1% off. Okay, that's kind of enough of the news with the views. So let's kind of get into the chat here and see what you guys are saying. I know some of the earlier chats probably scrolled past me, being able to see it. So I'm going to go back here and kind of try to see what you guys are saying. Get some sleep, Greg. Yeah, I need to, and I got to get up early in the morning. More like a show. Oh, yeah, there's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. There's one thing I wanted to tell you where they're warning us. Apparently there's this movie that's come out that was produced by a company owned by President before last, Obama. And this movie is kind of a prepping type movie. It's an apocalyptic movie that actually kind of warns us of a SHTF scenario. Now, a lot of people believe that they tell us what they're going to do to us in lots of ways. Well, this may be the most direct. This could explain the Georgia Guidestones. It could explain that Deagle report. Remember what Deagle was telling us? Our population in 2025 was going to be way in 2025. Does that mean something bad's got to happen in 2024 or maybe toward the end of this year? There's a lot of people worried about Christmas. Things happening this Christmas. I don't know, guys. Yeah, so New Days, what's the name of that movie? It's The Way... what's the name of that movie? It's Netflix. I don't get cable, guys. I don't get cable, but I saw a trailer to it, or it's an explanation of what was going on there. There was a Texas grid cyber attack. Oh, yeah. Ain't that something? And they're showing that Chinese hacking software is an all leave the world behind. Is that telling us to leave the world? Like in the planet? Is that like asking us to volunteer to be a part of the reduced set of people under the Georgia Guidestones? What is that? What does that mean? Leave the world behind. Or it could be, Christianity believes that Christians shouldn't be part of the world, as in the economic system and all that, which, that's some good advice, guys. That's why I say we need our own monetary system. We need our own tribe networks. That's why we got survivaltribenetwork.com, freedomrestorationfoundation.org. You need to check that stuff out. Wise I'll set up our site at much expenditure out of our own pocket for the Survival Tribe Network, guys. Check that out, survivaltribenetwork.com. That's where goldbacks can come in. We need our own. Do you want to be part of the CBD, the central bank digital currencies? Do you want to be part of that? Do you want to be part of their system? Or do you want to find ways to opt out? Something to think about, guys. Something to think about carefully. But, okay, so this movie, Leave the World Behind, Netflix, produced by Obama, and or a company owned by him. And allegedly, he was one of the top advisors. Now, you got to know, he is probably a front row, top pupil member of the House of Klaus, most likely. Just a strong possibility, right? Maybe. What do you think? So, is he your friend? Are any of these guys your friends? Something to ponder. Well, there's this warning. And I think maybe they warn like this because it's something they do to minimize their karma. It's like in the James Bond. The villain always tells the other guy what he's going to do to him. Rig long, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, 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 blah. One of my favorite lines in the movies is from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, where the character who played the, kind of a bad guy, or maybe he was the ugly, I don't know what he was. What was that guy's name? His famous line was, "Don't talk." That's one of my favorite movie lines. But anyway, they just got to tell you. I guess it's to minimize their karma. I don't know what that's all about. Why do they tell you? But they've been telling us stuff for some time. So when they come out with a movie like this, and so they have 3 stages to what they see happening. Is this what's going to happen? Or is this just a movie? Just a movie. It's just entertainment. It's just Hollywood being weird. Or is it? What is it? So the 3 stages was 1, isolation. Oh yeah, these are 3 stages can bring any country down from within, according to the movie. According to the movie. Produced by a company allegedly owned by Obama. It's really interesting they'd produce a movie like that. Now I'm told it's got a lot of woke stuff in it. Oh, okay, so then now we know the part of it's about a lot of wokey messages. But think about 3 stages. This is probably saying a lot. Stage 1, isolation. It's like break us apart. Like grid down, no communications, mainly no communications, no cell phones, no internet, no YouTube. Isolate everybody. Stage 2, synchronized chaos. That's an oxymoron. Synchronized chaos. Synchronization invokes planning. Synchronization invokes planning. Synchronized chaos. Isn't that kind of weird? Synchronized chaos? What is that? So, is that like letting sleeper cells all into the country everywhere? Is this why it's so important? Why it's so vital we let all this stuff come in here? Is that it? Or am I just dreaming? I've been warning you guys about sleeper cells, I think, longer than any other YouTube channel. And there's zillions of YouTube channels that are way bigger than me and gets way more views. I warned you guys about this stuff at the very inception of my channel way back about 5 years ago. But anyway, so look what's happening now. What's happening? Synchronized chaos. Wow, hey there, Rodney. Appreciate the super chat. Have a coffee on me. I'll do that. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it to purgatory. Salute to Rodney. Appreciate it, Rodney. Mr. Knife Maker Extraordinaire. Helter Skelter. There you go, David. Kind of the same kind of thing. Helter Skelter. All righty. So, synchronized chaos. And the last item they call coup d'etat, civil war. Now, the coup d'etat evokes there's some grab for power to upset what's going on, but it doesn't mean that's the ultimate end of it. The ultimate end, a civil war, is very destructive. Now, honestly, we had a war here in the United States. It was called a civil war, but it was a splitting by states. It wasn't a war within states. A civil war, a true civil war, is neighbors fighting neighbors. And there was some of that. Members of families fighting each other. There was some of that, but it was more a war between various states. Now, we might get that somewhat, but now our division is principally urban versus principally rural. I sent your check down to AZ to the address you showed. Oh, okay. I'll have to check the mailbox here. I'll be here possibly up to just before Christmas, or I may leave a little bit a few days before that. I got something I need to investigate, but I will be here next weekend, so I'll be here. And thank you for the check super chats, Colorado Jen. She's a sweetheart. So, guys, order, entropy, chaos. Yeah. So, Civil War is horrible. They're absolutely horrible. A war between the states is a bad thing. Any war is horrible. But a civil war is one of the worst wars in the world. Now, in the United States, so-called civil war between the states, as I call it, more Americans passed away in that war than all our wars up until some of the most recent ones added together. I mean, like what's going on in the Middle East. I mean, it was the Battle of Gettysburg alone took 50,000 lives. The entire Vietnam War only took 54,000. So figure that out, guys. Americans fighting Americans can get ugly. We don't need that. We don't want that. Now, we've got divides in this country where we got differences. Maybe we need to find a way. If it comes to something like that, it'd be better if we could find a way to split the sheets and divide the hickory nuts and have a peaceful, no-fault divorce. Not a civil war. But see, that's what some of them want. Because why? We're a country where people love freedom. We're a country where people want to be able to think for themselves, to control themselves, and not be dominated by those that got more money, who set it up under the pretenses of socialism and communism. Why is it the uber rich have been promoting communism? Communism is supposed to be a classless society, but there's no classless communistic society on earth. That is a ruse. That's a ruse. A ruse for the rubes. There is no classless society anywhere. So, yeah, this is a bid to set up neo-feudalism. And I said that way back. Of course, I'm on dangerous ground on this platform talking this. But I've had other people repeat that since. I did not hear anybody else say it before I said it, though. And I've said that a few years ago. So they want to kick the ladders out where you can't ascend to the same level, where you're forever a serf. And they're just the high and mighty. They're eating caviar and steak while you're eating the bugs. Gabby! First super chat ever to you, Greg. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you, Gabby. Salute to Gabby. Thank you. I am most appreciative of that, Gabby. All righty. That's wonderful. All righty, guys. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on. And if that doesn't evoke the idea that you need to be prepping, how about just show that movie to your friends? Okay, this is what they're telling us. Wake up. It's coming. Look at the world around you. I don't know. I'll get a zillion times. I get comments from people. Oh, Greg, nothing has ever happened and nothing is going to happen. I seen that comment so many times. That comment verbatim. I think it's a troll comment. Why do you get the same comment from many different people verbatim for years? Okay, they forgot they forgot the invasion of Russia. They forgot what happened on, you know, October the 7th, or just go back to the history of war. You know, they obviously have their head in the sand if they believe that kind of stuff. But you have a situation where you got normalcy bias. You don't want to admit what's coming. You don't want to think about it. You would love to ignore it, because to admit it is to go, oh my God. Now, so this is why we need to get ready. This is why we need to prepare. And I'm not going to say all that stuff is a foregone conclusion. Just because they want it, don't make it happen. There are several things the elites have wanted to push on us that failed. A lot of their agendas failed. Their timeline has failed. So they're trying to force it harder now. It don't mean they win. In the end, they don't win. Now, the price of the mess they make may be exceedingly high. But you always got to have some hope. You've always got to have some hope. As long as you got a breath in your lungs, you can have hope. And this is why we need to not drown our kids with negativism and tell them that in spite of the bad stuff, there's still hope. Work for a future. You know, that's kind of hard to do. Working for a future is a lot of work, so it's easy to cop out. But we're losing our younger generation because they become hopeless. So we still got to work. And in spite of this backdrop of all the crap they're throwing at us, we still got to maintain some level of hope. And how do they advance all this ugliness? Through hatred. By getting people to hate each other. For various reasons, divide them against each other. It's his fault. It's their fault. They did this. They did that. They did the other. Well, when you get done, you can point a finger at everybody on earth and say they're the worst thing that ever existed. What does that accomplish? A feud. A global feud. We got to cut that crap out. There's a lot of corrections that are needed. The biggest problem in our societies is all the idiots we let run it. Here and abroad. We got our helping doses of idiots in this country running things. At local governments, state governments, and the Fed. Just look at our school systems. Ask Colonel Cole about it. Look at our school systems just to see where we're really at. And I got to do a special video on that when I get back home and when I get back to Alabama, when I got all my computer stuff. Until I set all that stuff up here. I don't know. I've been here. I don't know. Maybe I should start calling this home, because I've only been in Alabama for 3 weeks since mid-August. Total time. I do have an address here. I'm building a home here. So, and I got my place. I'm trying to sell the Alabama place through an agent. So, because I got to get rid of my debt. It's part of my strategy to get rid of my debt. Anyway, so these are the kind of things they're trying to throw at us. But they don't get everything they want. Look what happened to Bud Light. You think the people don't have power? We just got to wake people up. So this little show, they're trying to show us what they're doing, is maybe the best teaching aid, the best gift they ever gave us, because we can wake our friends and family up, things like that. We can say, hey, look, guys, if this don't get your attention, what will? You know, you need to open your eyes and look around the world and see what's happening. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. Get your head out of the sand and pay attention. Eyes wide open and head on a swivel. It's the biggest time for that we've ever had right now. Eyes wide open and head on a swivel. So take heart to that. So Anyway, all right, let me go through some of this chat, and we're going to call it a night because it's going to take me a while still to get in bed. I got to position my van, turn on the generators, do a lot of stuff before I go. I get up early. We had 12 degrees night before last. It was 17 degrees this morning. Had some good temperatures. I got all four walls standing on my shed, I should call it. And today I went around this evening after I worked today. I came home early to my property here. I brought a young gentleman with me, and together we put up these 2x6s around the interior studs that I'm going to put the floor joists on top of. So these are kind of like brackets to hold up the floor joist, basically. And we're about to start. Now, we put them up. We nailed them in place. We got some screws in. We got to put more screws in to reinforce them, but they're all in place. So next, go on the floor joist. Then goes on the plywood on the floor. Then, once I get the floor in place, it'll be a lot easier to put in the roof from the floor upstairs. All righty. So let's see what all folks are saying in here. I'm going to scroll to the top and go down. A lot easier to go backwards. All right, I got where y'all were voting numbers, so I missed whatever was done before that. Live your life. Does that mean they are locked down? I'll talk about the separation. Yeah, good chance. Good chance. There are rumors that they want to shut down interstate travel, that you are stuck where you're at. And if the grid goes down, you can't buy gas. How far are you going to make it? You're pretty much stuck where you're at anyway, unless you want to do a lot of walking or you got a bicycle. Oh, my bicycle's in Alabama. I need to bring some out here in a hurry. But if all this happens in Christmas, yeah, that's too soon. I ain't gonna be able to get all my stuff out here. Or, at least I should have a balance of stuff here and there. So wherever I'm at, if we got problems, I can cover it. That's one good thing about traveling my bug out van. I had bug out stuff in it. It was a bug out location itself. But I'm thinking about traveling my red van last time, and I'm not going to be able to carry as much stuff. It's not going to be as good a bug out situation, but I'll only be on the road a couple of days each way. So, yeah, 100 likes. So, guys, we got 159 likes and 238 people in the room. This platform has knocked me down about 300 members over the past couple of months. It has subscribers, not members. I haven't set up a membership program. It has squelched my views. I get tons of people telling me they're not getting notifications. So please share my videos. And right now, the easiest thing you can do is give me some thumbs up. Help me, because that even when they're shadow banning you, the algorithms for things like thumbs up still work to a certain degree. So help me out. Give me thumbs up. Make comments to the video after it posts, or email videos after they're posted. Comment on some other people's comments. Give them thumbs up. The more social activity there is in my channel, the better it's going to help me out with the algorithms. So, all right. Alien believers, God question mark. What's that supposed to mean, alien believers? You can digest crickets in your gut. Oh, you can't. Yeah, there's some issues with the chitin that forms the shell skins of the crickets or any insectoid critter. Okay, stop. Listen, think. That was sweet of you, Michelle. It was. Why, David? Why would you want to digest crickets anyway? Very good question. Oh yeah, the UN had come out. I mentioned this previously. It said Americans have to stop eating so much meat. Americans got to be stopped from eating meat, basically. Oh yeah, why do they pick on Americans? Leave my beef alone. I got a beef with them that want to take my beef. I got a beef with them that want to take my chicken. Anyway, let's see. John the Baptist ate locusts and honey. Okay. I think you can eat insects to a certain amount, but I've heard of a guy who only ate crickets and grasshoppers, and he met his demise. So you don't want to just eat bugs. Great scarf, necessity is the mother of invention. Oh yeah, she knows what my scarf was. I got lots of free coal on my property. There you go, Darlene. Well, you can stay warm and cook, either one. Bill the Kid goes, how many Houthi fighters are there? In 2010, the Yemeni Post claimed they had over 100,000 fighters. Yeah, I covered that in another video. I kind of went through what the numbers are claimed to be, but that's a good question. Military roots. Anthracite. What is anthracite? I don't know. Did I say that right? Okay, Rodney, I just find this Hoochie suit rather suspicious. Yeah, no kidding. Strange. A rebel group launches missiles that starts the first space war. They aren't even controlled by half the country they're in. It's a small country, poor country. China is laughing that this is so easy. Wow, Jason. Bingo. You got that right. China will rule the world. Everything else is a side. Well, Johan, less they want to. Let's just hope it don't pan out, because they are having a lot of economic problems over there too. Today says she heard Africa will rule the world. The demographics are in favor of Nigeria in the long run if they can hold their act together, because they got the most young people. I'm already deaf, but I wonder what I'm hearing. Yeah, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil, for my nug is near me. All right, America should bring everything from everywhere home. There you go. Yeah, 2K Gamer, we're talking about that. Leave the world behind. Bad feeling. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that crazy? America first. There you go, Billy the Kid. Cheryl Martin, good morning. Vivian, hey, we got another super chat. Let me scroll down and see what that is. Ding, 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 ding. Scroll down, scroll down. I hit the bottom button. John Taylor, $10. Hey, buddy, did you get that coffee this morning? Yes, sir, I sure did, and I'll get another one now. Yeah, I went to the Purgatory today. All right, salute. Actually, I went this afternoon because this morning I went first thing to a garage, a mechanic garage, to get idler arms replaced on this van because they were in really bad shape, and they ended up having to replace the drag link, and checked out my wheel bearings, bled the brake lines a little bit, and it cost me nearly $5. And I had this thing in the shop the week before, getting the engine tuned up. So I've spent some money on this van recently, quite a bit, quite a bit more than I paid for it. I only paid $400 for it. The tires on it cost me nearly $700. Yeah, I put some money in this van, but hey, it's housed me out here in the desert for months. I'm the man in the van down by the wash. So I've been living in this thing. But thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, I will get some more coffee tomorrow because I am going to the Purgatory right off the bat in the morning. But my red van I drove out here in Cherry, it ran out of coolant today. So I've been checking to see if it was leaking or anything streaming from it. I'm not really seeing that. So I don't know, guys. Still in stage one. Yeah, stage one's probably just about beginning. We're not in isolation yet, but they'd like to hit us in isolation. An MP might do that for them. Anyway, so maybe this is the reason they will not harden the grid no matter what we do. Yeah, it's just they will not harden the power grid. They'll tell us it's hard, but they're not hard. Oh, we got drops. Supersize that coffee. There you go. I might get 2 or 3. I do drink some coffee. That is a fact, guys. I do drink some coffee. And right now I'm getting most of it from these coffee shops. Occasionally I'll get a little bit from the Taco Bell. Here is the last place in Snowflake where you can buy coffee at night. Because they brew it like 1 cup at a time. So Paul Bitely, this is a lady coming in for her husband's ID. Broken past. 2A lawyer took care of my grandmother's estate while she was still alive. We lived the same state but several hours away. There you go, Mary. Using your late dad's phone. Okay, Mary. Yeah, they'll take everything from you, these nursing homes and places. It's terrible to take. Pray for me, says Anton. We'll do that. Carol, take care of yourself. Well, thank you, Carol. Salute to Carol. I am most appreciative of that. We got drops in here tonight. Carol, Anton, Colorado Jan, 2K Gamer, Nightman's wife, all the way from Florida. Here late. Her and New Days are in Eastern time zone. RD 5K for $500. Self-fix, just saying. Okay. I hired a shade tree mechanic at home that put all that stuff in. It was all crap. Guys, I am in Arizona. I don't have all my tools. I don't have a shop. I'm out in the middle of the desert. I got a little storage shed, and I'm doing some self-work. I'm building a home. But most of my tools are in Alabama. And I am still working my day job during the day. I am trying to build a shed to live in, a mini home, and I am struggling for time. And I'm bringing you content here on YouTube. This takes a lot of time. So, but my channel may be my sole source of income very soon. So I've really got to focus on a channel. I am losing subscribers left and right. So I've got to put some emphasis here, guys. So there's only so many weeks in a day. So sometimes I will have to hire some things out. Yeah, I probably could put alarms in and those kind of things myself, but I would spend about a day doing it. And right now I've burned up all my leave. I don't have any vacation. That's why I'm working my day job here. I burnt all my vacation up weeks ago. I get a little bit at a time, and I'm pretty much burn it up as I get it, trying to build a place or going back and forth between Alabama and Arizona. When I drive it, it takes me 2 days. So my time is exceedingly limited. Most people don't appreciate that. They don't understand that I don't sleep much. And it's hard to get things accomplished because I've got a lot on my plate. Look in my eyes if you'll know how much sleep I get. So this is what's happening, guys. I'm bringing you the content, and I appreciate the super chats because it's very likely this video will get demonetized. I've had a video before last get demonetized. I've got a lot of videos recently demonetized. And, when you're setting up to try to make a living off YouTube, which is no income, every little nickel helps, guys. This is, look, guys, I'm on the verge of perhaps even just applying for Social Security. I don't have reached full retirement age for another over 3 years, almost 4. I'm 63. You got to be 67 to get it. Well, if you're born after 1960. And I'm told that you got to wait 6 months to a year to get it, which is catastrophic for a lot of people, and maybe for me too, which may mean I may file bankruptcy because I don't know. My day job I've had for over 20 years now is going south on me. I've got a prospective interview. I don't know if I want to stay with it. Here's the thing. I've been in a squirrel cage getting nowhere. Maybe I need a break with everything from the past and a fresh start. So, but YouTube might be all I got. Look, and even that Social Security I was talking about. Social Security is a terrible retirement, but that is a lot of money compared to what I get on YouTube, even though it's nothing. A pre-full retirement Social Security at full retirement is paltry. Pre-retirement, full retirement is paltry. Well, YouTube is even far more paltry. So all you guys are really helping me out in here, and I'm greatly appreciating that. But for those that just say, well, why don't you go out and fix this? You go out and fix that. Do this, do that. Look, I've been begging for people to help me here because I'm struggling. I've got winter coming on, and my home here is not prepared. If I don't get a roof on it, the particle board in my siding will be destroyed. I got a lot of money at risk in my walls here. I've got to get a roof on this building, and winter is on me. So I can't just stop and do all these other things. I can't do it. It's not going to happen. I stand to lose more right here with the building I'm trying to build. There's things I've got to pick priorities. And yeah, it's rough to spend a bunch of money to fix something like that, especially when you paid somebody else to do the same job and they screwed it up. That's one of the problems I got. A lot of the help I've hired in the past has not been help at all. The reason my greenhouse blew up was one of my so-called helpers that I hired to, they moved some of the T-posts that I had my hoops going down into. They readjusted them. They moved some of them. And they didn't reattach the baseboard like that. They unattached it, but no, they didn't reattach it. They didn't finish the job, but it was on the ground. I didn't see that. And when a wind come along, a wind much smaller than the winds that greenhouse has withstood many times, that board got thrown up over the top. It opened a big opening in the greenhouse, and there was a wind. Some of that wind got it in. It blew up. It exploded. Before I hired helpers, every tool I've ever bought from the time I was a teenager, I still had. When I started hiring people, they all go poof, poof, poof. So this whole model that I was trying to base things on, a model where you got to go in business and hire the people, look out. It's not a good model to follow these days. You need to do stuff at smaller scale that you can handle it by yourself as much as you can. That's my new message for folks. If you want to start a worm farm, go for a bait operation, or maybe just a compost or worm tea operation. Don't try to ship worms all over the country. The post office is terrible these days, but you can make good money in bait worms. You guys make a living off that. But you got to be where you don't have worm, but you got to be able to do it yourself. And if you're working other stuff, think twice about it. It's good for your gardening, though. It's good for gardening. But this whole model that I started on, it used to be a workable model. You could hire people and run businesses. There was a time that worked, but it's not working these days. And it's not just for me. I've got all kind of artisans telling me the same story. And you go look at a lot of these fast food restaurants. They can't keep help, so they're all running into it. God hated me wearing skirts, says Anton. God is not a source of hatred. 3 months before, apply 3 months before retirement. Do you have to stop? Well, can you apply while you're still working? I mean, I don't know, guys. Of course, if you apply, that means you're not working anymore. I don't quite know where this job's going, but yes, new days. I need an oil change. All right, Captain Chips, you hired the wrong people. Oh, I fired enough people, Captain Trips, to make Donald Trump blush. Literally. I have fired over 100 people. I fired people 3 or 4 at a time. just left and right. I've been fortunate here, though. I find good people willing to help. Yeah, I'm getting a lot more accomplished here than I was able to do in Alabama. A lot faster, a lot better, a lot more reliable. I got only trustworthy people coming on my place here. I did have an individual call me up because I posted a sign at the country store up here wanting help. The guy, well, I don't know. Let me come look at it. I go, oh, no, you ain't coming to look at nothing because you're just looking for stuff to steal. No, that didn't happen. I did not let that person come on my property. Oh, well, let me come look at it. Yeah, right. I know what that is. I know how to read that. I know what, I know how tweakers talk. Anyway, Gabby, Green Graves, I'll be working at least 10 years after I die. Well, I hear you, Gabby. I hear you. There's still a lot of work to do. Guys, I got too many irons in the fire. That's one of my issues. And I have been working for decades, and I've not got anywhere. So that's why I say I need a clean break, probably. Just need to restart. Been an auto and heavy machine mechanic for 20 years. And quote, 20% local business is booming if priced right. And yeah, hey, if you're a mechanic, if you're a tradesman, you're going to do okay these days. You're going to do all right, guys. Greg, you got 40 acres and a mule. That's it. Billy the Kid. Don't have the mule? I don't know, unless I can count one of my vans as a mule. I can get a mule. Yeah, Captain Trips, I am generally pretty positive, but you guys ask me about workers. You tell me I hire the wrong workers, and I'm just telling you the way it is. I'm generally positive because I'm making changes. I'm taking care of things. I'm not relying on people you hire at wage grade labor rates. But I'm going to tell you something. I paid people $25 an hour and more for simple labor. The more I paid them, the worse it was. I paid some more than that, just for odd jobs. And I'll tell you something else. I have called the big agencies like Mr. Electric in Huntsville. Now, they may sue me. Well, go for it. They sent me kids, snot-nosed kids who didn't know what they was doing, that really screwed a bunch of stuff up. I had other electricians come fix their work. But see, that's where all this is going these days, where all these companies, they're bigger companies, go into the communities and say, okay, we need to have all this certifications for everybody pass. An electrician now's got to go through, in my area, come from 25 different certifications. They got to pass all these different tests and throw a lot of money into it. And a lot of them are quitting. They're not working locally anymore because it's just too much of a hassle, which serves those big companies. So they do it one time, and they claim it's all for safety. So what happens is you don't get that wise old electrician who really knows this stuff. You get a company sending you out some snot-nosed kids that know nothing. It's a ruse. And all the local governments saying there's many other ruses like that, where all these permit requirements, like here in this area, they're bad about permit requirements, crazy bad about it. This is all supported by those companies. They all push that stuff because that's how they get their money. They push it through the city councils. So I tell you, the city councils, local governments are not for you. They're for their own buddies, their own buddy network. And it's these companies, the homeowners associations, they're not for you. Yeah, I am not a fan of any of that stuff. So, thank you there, Jason. Appreciate that, John. Jesse, depends on the year of his van. What is that? This van is a 98 that I'm in, I think. Need to walk portable propane heater is very slick. I put a propane heater in here and ran it for a little bitty one. Ran it for like 5 minutes, and the fumes were so bad, I couldn't stand it. I had run me out of my van. I couldn't stand it. The fumes were awful. A little bitty Mr. Buddy. One of those buddies, everybody. I've had like 100 people. Get one of those buddy heaters. Get a buddy heater. Get a buddy heater. Well, I did. I did. I will not use it in my van. It's sitting in my storage container. Will not use it. The fumes were horrible. Now, if you got a bigger, I've been in an RV where somebody had a bigger one. Well, they have more airspace. I don't have a lot of airspace in this van, guys. That's what it boils down to. The airspace in this van is limited. Well, open a window. They're letting the heat out. I'm like, come on, guys. That's not an option that I was fond of. So that one I'm not going with. Not in this little van. Now, I may use it for other things down the road. Like I'm building a building here. It's going to have plenty of airspace in it. But the airspace in this van, it's like being in a capsule. It's like being in a little spaceship. I mean, my bed I sleep on, you know, I'm right up against the ceiling. I got very little room in here, very little airspace, guys. So, now I'm not trying to get on you guys. I'm just saying some things don't work in this van. But I hear the same advice over and 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 over. And I've said several times it's not working. I've tried it, but I keep hearing it. So that's guys, that's what I'm talking about. When you're settled, maybe you work at the coffee shop and get coffee. That's a good one, Scooby Snacks. Maybe that's not a bad idea. So Marsh, apply 3 weeks, 3 months. Can you apply when you're still working? I don't know. Oh, no, when you apply, they pay backwards to that point, but you got to go without for a period of time. So I'm not sure how all that works. Electric blankets work good for car camping. I've got a cigarette lighter electric blanket courtesy of Nightman's wife. Thank you very much for that. So I've been out here. Look, I just survived 12 degrees out here. Several nights below 20, most nights below freezing for weeks on end. What I've discovered is I've got to have a working CPAP. So I bought a Predator generator that's supposed to run to 14 amps before it trips. It trips at about 9 amps. No, it don't go 10 amps. You can't even run a skill saw on it. You can't run a lot of stuff that runs off a regular plug-in, kills it. It goes, So, but I can run my CPAP on it. And I got one tiny little heater. It's about the size that fits my hand right here. When I run that heater, frost forms on all my windshields inside. It's still below freezing inside this van. But it's probably not as cold below freezing as it would be otherwise. So a human body probably puts out more heat because a human body is like a kilowatt, at least a young person with working mitochondria. So, yeah, this heater is nothing like that. It's not even a fraction of a human body heat, but it throws out a little bit of heat. I got a little bit bigger heater that will which is not much bigger, that will kill that generator. Just, especially can't run it with the CPAP, right? But the CPAP keeps me from breathing in the snoring and breathing that cold air through my mouth and my throat, which will cause me to have a sore throat and catch the bugs, which happened to me back a couple weeks ago. I got really sick out here, but I took a bunch of zinc and stuff, and I knocked it out in like a couple days. Zinc and elderberry, I knocked it out in about 2 days. I was fine, but I jumped right on top of it, right off the bat. I said, oh, my throat hurts. My chest hurts. My lungs hurt. I'm in trouble. I'm coughing. My nose is a river. Y'all might remember I got pretty hoarse after that, but I was okay. The CPAP keeps me from snoring. I can breathe through my nose. So that helps, guys. Nightman's what, Greg, would a tent be helpful? I'm fine. No, a tent wouldn't be helpful. I'm fine. We have mountain lions here. A neighbor just told me a mountain lion took a dump on their back porch in the middle of the day. A tent may not be the safest place to be for days on end. And maybe for a day or two, but if you're just staying at days on end, probably not the best. And a tent ain't going to be any warmer than this unless you put one of those little heaters in. No, I'm okay. I got a system. That's what I'm getting to. I got a system. I bought a sleeping bag. I found the Sportsman's Warehouse or something like that up in Sholo. I found that place, and they had a sleeping bag that was out. Gave me elbow room. It has 39 inches, so I can actually spread my elbows out in it, and I'm not like, you know, crunched up inside where you can't move like a lot of them, the ones I've had before. You couldn't move when you were in them, and I was freezing in some of these sleeping bags. I had some nights I was really cold. I mean, really cold. But this sleeping bag I got now is rated for 25 below zero. And it's got 39 inches wide, so I've got some room in it. And I've been sleeping warm since I got that bag. That and the CPAP. That gets me. That's covering me now, guys. And if it gets really cold, I got that electric blanket. I mean, it has got 30 below here. So you can bet I'll be using that electric blanket and a few other things now. But so I've kind of learned, you know, you might want to put on some long johns, maybe a few extra things when it gets getting colder and colder. Even though this bag is rated for 25 below, that is for a young person with mitochondria, not an old guy whose mitochondria is worn out like mine. So, but it helps. It's the best bag I've had since I was a kid. I bought one when I was a kid, which that bag don't work anymore. I just tried it. I froze to death out here in that bag. It's no Polar Guard bag. It used to work great. I used to couldn't stand it. It was so hot in that bag. But as I was younger, had better working. But I bought that bag back in the 70s. I think it died. It was actually working a few years ago, but I think somewhere along the line it just finally died. So I froze to death in that bag. But tremendous heat. Yeah, I'm getting my systems worked out here. So I'm working on it. Now, the Predator generator, if it's raining, I'm not going to be able to run it because it tells you don't have it in the rain until I can build a doghouse or something to put it in. Or maybe I can get a doghouse eventually. But it's got to be a ventilated doghouse. Or it won't run inside of a, igloo type doghouse. Just a little roof of some types, maybe. Just go to Mexico and walk across the border. Yeah, they probably wouldn't let me walk south across the border. It's a one-way border. Go to China. Yeah, all these other countries, all the woke people think they're so great. Just go try to walk across their border and see what happens to you. Yeah, they don't permit that stuff. They don't permit it, but we insist on it here. Oh, yeah, we want more of it. Yeah, so much so the Department of Homeland Insecurity is going to be going down to Mexico to pre-process people so they can process them faster and bring them in faster and bring in more of them. Yeah, it does sound kind of like that movie, don't it? That's item number 2 on their agenda, is it? Synchronized chaos. What an oxymoron. Synchronized chaos. That's worse than military intelligence. Synchronized and chaos. I'll watch him. I watched Dan Bongino. Okay. Yeah. Somebody told me Dan Bongino picked up my eyes wide open, head on a swivel or something. What was that New Days that he picked up? He stole one of my sayings. Anyway, scam, Greg, you can work while receiving retirement. You can't make more than what your retirement checks are. It's less than that, Skin Family. It's a smaller number. But there's a certain amount you can earn, but then they start cutting out dollar for dollar to the point that you won't get anything on Social Security. So you can't just work regular. The YouTube income, as paltry as it is probably about as much as I could handle in conjunction with Social Security. Yeah, the problem is if you retire. Now, if you retire at full retirement age, yeah, you can work full time. Don't matter. You can work full time and make any amount of money, but not when if you retire early. So, yeah, he uses that now. Use what? I watched like white noise movie. Keep your, yes, keep your head on a swivel. I heard him saying it many times. Okay. Scam fam, Greg, I was told to work 9 months and take 3 months off. Oh, well, you may have a different deal if you got a disability. Appreciate that, Arnold. Guys, well, I got 40 acres here. If it hits a fan, I can't think of a better place to be. There's a good community here. It's a prepper community. I made a lot of friends here, met a lot of good people here. You know, this is a good place in that regards. It's peaceful. The jackery ain't good. That jackery ain't worth 2 cents. I bought a jackery to run my CPAP. I ain't using it to run my CPAP because it don't work. Paid $400 for a darn jackery, and it lasted about 2 weeks and went, bleh. I need to do, that's what I'm telling you guys. I got to get on my Papa's channel. When I get time, I got a bunch of video content I can just do. I need to tear that jackery up. It is trash. It's junk. Well, most people only use them once or twice every once in a blue moon, so they don't find all this stuff out. But if you're trying to use it, like you want to need to run a CPAP, and it really, when I run the CPAP, I had to turn the heat all the way down so it wouldn't over discharge it. So it was inadequate from the get-go. It was inadequate from the get-go. And hey, this stupid controller on this Harbor Freight thing, even the plugs won't stay in. If you want the light, I can run one light off of it and I can charge my cell phone. It's the only thing I do. That one light, you got to play around with the plug because it's so crappy made. You got to kind of mess around with it just for the light to come on. It is crap. It's junk. There's so much junk out there. It's incredible. So what's elements there, Darlene? Bill Kidd, Norwood says, in the Army, we were trained to get into the sleeping bag with our battle buddies. Oh, Lord. Oh, they didn't train me that when I was in the Army. Get in the sleeping bag with your battle buddies. No, sir. My so-called buddy, I ran him off. When we had bivouac, I ran him off. And he wound up sleeping with the drill sergeant, so they couldn't stand it, and they ran him, eventually sent him back. Reflectix. Reflectix is good for Windows, I understand, but where do you get Reflectix? Broken Pass 2. Where do you find Reflectix? Because I was hunting stuff to cover windows with. Now, fortunately, in this van, I bought aluminum foil to put in my red van, and I was going to get some tape and just tape aluminum foil over the windows. Because I didn't find, I went to the parts centers looking for those, things people put on their windshields to block the sun out, because it's summertime. Not summertime, I didn't find anywhere. In summertime, I assume you'd find a lot of some, but here it's wintertime, I can't find that stuff. So, where do I find Reflectix? I just saw a video. Judy sent me a video, Judy McDowell, and the guy was talking about using Reflectix, how great it was, and the windows and the vans he was using. I don't know where to get it. Where do you get that stuff, guys? Because I was looking for something to use. And I could still use something. If somebody can tell me where to find it. Air so full is cheap. Big rolls, some hardware store. Well, I got some full. Greg, what's that? Greg, what's the name of that sports place where you got your sleeping bag? I think it's called Sportsman's Warehouse. No, they got tents and things there too. I've been tempted to buy a tent and set it up just to put up a studio here, but I'm thinking, why spend that much money? Yeah, they're expensive when I am working to build a house. Yeah, a lot of these little extra expenses, working on cars, the expenses to stay warm, the expenses associated with me not having a real decent working kitchen because I'm eating out more than normal. Yeah, I'm spending money at a velocity. It's a little bit too high right now. When I get my little building finished, I can cut that velocity quite a bit, but right now it's costing me. Yeah. Reflectance.com. Okay, New Days. Thanks for that. So they got a website. Can you buy it locally anywhere, or you got to order it? Hell, ask us so. I'm late, but at least I'm here. Hey, I'm back. Okay. Wow. All right. They've changed the application here a lot. They made some changes. I got to go back through and reset settings or do something. This phone thing don't work like it used to. I clicked a link that New Days posted, and it blew me out. I couldn't hit the return button. It took me back in here, and I had to go through a bunch of loops to get back into the video. I tried going through my channel and other things, and none of that was working. So, yeah, sorry, guys. I thought I was going to have to just restart the video. Carol, thank you. Get what you need, Greg. Salute to Carol. Appreciate it, Carol. Thank you very much. So my apologies for getting knocked out of here. But there's a lot of stuff that's changed, for how I'm doing this by phone or something. I don't know what happened. Yeah, there we go. Welcome back, Greg. Had to hop through a wormhole. That's about it. New Days, if you'll email me that link or put it in a messenger, the one that you posted, I would like to check that out. But that blew me out, guys. Yeah, you see me. That's good. Yeah, thank you, Carol. I must appreciate that. I really do, guys. Everything. So, in any event, guys, I think it is time to go. But I like to say goodbye to folks before I go and thank people and things like that, right? Because it is, this will be probably another hour if I can actually turn in. So, a lot of things to do, like set my generator, run my CPAP, and things like that. So, yeah. Hey, Carol. Well, thank you again. Salute. Double salute. Triple salute. Carol's been very generous tonight. I appreciate all that. The movie came out in 2014, not new. So, that movie came out in 2014? Or one like it? I don't know. So, are we talking about the Way Back movie? Or what was the name of that again? New Days. Anyway. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Just came out 2023. No, it's new. Okay. And maybe there's something like this. This is supposedly produced by Obama or a company he owns. And he was supposedly, according to some people, an advisor. So, back in Helios in there. Okay. So, alrighty, folks. Hey, we probably really do need to go now. But I like to say a decent goodbye before I get out of here, right? I want to thank all you super chatters. Yeah. Well, a lot of good people in here. We are a family. I appreciate every one of you guys. So appreciate the call for the thumbs up there, Jesse. So, my peeps, go read the subtitles. Anyway, guys. Well, they've told us this stuff many different ways over time, including putting it on stone, like the Gadstones, which they decided they probably needed to blow up because it was hitting a little too close to home, right? And you got kicked off again. Now, I'm here. I'm here right now, I hope. Don't forget Santa GG. Ho, ho, ho. Well, I always put that in the comment. Hey, Rodney. Have some donuts, too. Salute. We'll do, Rodney. There you go. It's always good with coffee. Breakfast of Champions, coffee and donuts. Actually, I've been buying these chocolate donuts, As you can see, it's almost empty. There's one or two down in here now. I was going to have a couple of those to take my meds. I should take some food with meds. But Breakfast of Champions, guys. And what's chocolate? Chocolate helps you stay awake. So I have a few of those with some coffee before I do a video, so I can just sleep. Obama's just like the Clintons. Yeah. Interesting. Too many things out there. A little too interesting, guys. A little too interesting. Yeah, those are great with coffee. Chocolate and coffee goes great together, right? Donuts and coffee goes great together. So why not chocolate donuts and coffee? And the chocolate gives you a little extra zing. Just a little bit. Focus on the roof. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. Complete the second floor. No, oh, I'm going to use the second floor to get to the roof. That's going to help me get to it. So, yeah, I hope to get some of that in place here during the week. Then next weekend be a roof weekend. So yeah, it's going to be real hard to get up that roof without scaffolding and lots of long ladders. I've got an extension ladder, but I can work a lot faster if I'm working from the floor. A lot faster. Jacob Dannon's Cole, or how you say it. Anyway, alrighty, folks. So once again, I'm going to go. So I want to, Lori Otto. How you doing, Lori? You better start eating better. I eat better when I got a kitchen, when I got a home. I'm trying to build one. Santa never has problems getting on top of roofs. Yeah, but you got to have the roof to get on top of. There's not a roof to get on top of yet. Now I'm buying a sailboat instead. What's Larry saying? Larry Smith, has everybody learned how to speak Chinese? Yeah, Jason Smith. So I always talked about getting a sailboat, guys. That's been his bug out plan. Anyway, guys, we need to go. It's late. Once again, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank all of you. I want to thank all you mods. I know you stay busy doing your mod thing. I want to thank everybody that's in here, everybody that's gave me a thumbs up, and just everybody that's watching. We're family. Don't forget it. Always remember to keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. Ready? I'll look and see what Lowe's for reflection material for you. Yeah, maybe if there's something close at hand. I bought aluminum foil. I was planning to get some tape, but tape on windshields really messes them up. Yeah, I had some tape on that windshield over there, and it's not come off good, and it's hard to see through it. And it blocks my view to my rear view mirror somewhat, so it's made a mess. And it just don't want to come off. So, in any event, guys, yeah, reflectance or something like that might be a good thing to have. If I can find it local here somewhere, it'd be better. Anyway, guys, thank you all. Thank you one and all. Just remember, keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. And to one and all, a good night. Ho, ho, ho. Greg out.